The day for Wilgenis Alvarado is over. Kyle Poapst is into the game. The Settler, Alberta native stands at 6'6" on the mound. He comes in the top of the 8th inning in what is now a big spot for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Kyle Poapst has been a two-way player this season for the Maple Leafs, but as of late, he's been primarily a pitcher. Kyle Poapst did have a bit of a rough outing last time out against the Guelph Royals, but has pitched a bit better as of late for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Had a nice scoreless inning in 2/3 against the Baycats last week. And the Maple Leafs, they're really going to need a shutdown inning here from Kyle Poapst so they can give themselves a chance with the last 6 outs that they have, down by 1. Luis Florentino is also starting to mull around a little bit in the bullpen for the Leafs.
A big righty is starting to mull around over there on the other side for the Welland Jackfish.
That would be Deivy Mendez in the bullpen. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Deivy Mendez pitched a couple of innings last time he came into a ball game. So I wonder if he's up next. If the Maple Leafs can get some base runners, him and Yasiel Puig would be on a collision course.
That'd be a fun at-bat to watch.
And that'll be a good battle. They've had a little bit of history so far this season out in Welland. I believe it was a hit by pitch last time they faced each other. The 3-2, just inside. Poapst trying to pick that inside corner, confirms that the location with the umpire at home plate, and it's a leadoff walk.
Yeah, a little aggressive bat toss there from Justin Gideon. Again, didn't agree with the strike 2 call, and then location in the same spot, and just kind of whips the bat back down, saying that should have been the pitch before.
Here's Robert Mullen. Homered early on in the game. Takes high, ball 1.
The Maple Leafs do want to come back and win this. They need Poapst, like you mentioned, to have a solid outing here. Obviously, that first one, it's kind of rocky. You walk the leadoff man.
Kyle Poapst was playing in the Hatcher State League before the Toronto Maple Leafs picked him up. That was out in Australia. As this one's hit high in the air to center field by Mullen. Back goes Sitarenios. He's camped under it. He makes the catch, and that's out number 1. Kyle Poapst famously told the story on opening day when he was playing out in Australia. That's where he started to learn to hit. He had an ERA of 3.86 and a batting average of 360, so he was a fantastic two-way player playing out in Australia. So he learned to hit, and his wife was the one that taught him how to hit. He was a pitcher before that, and then got married and asked his wife, can you teach me how to hit as well? And he's come in and been a two-way player for this Maple Leafs team as well.
And she's made a couple appearances here, pitched BP a couple of times.
Yep.
Every time after the game, we're tearing down the tent up here and everything.
This one gets to the backstop, extra 90 feet for the Jackfish.
Just to finish that point, every time we're tearing down, I look onto the field and I see just a dog running around. I'm like, whose dog is loose? It's Kyle Poapst, and it's his wife always with the ball, just absolutely a cannon of a throw.
Yeah,
every time to make the dog go and chase it. Like they're at the gate at center field. She's probably throwing to where, the shortstop stands.
The 1-1. Yeah, the dog may actually be the most notable member of that family.
Yeah.
It is always making an appearance.
Covers a lot of ground out there in the outfield.
2-1 now on Grant. There's a runner in scoring position. Kyle Poapst trying to keep Justin Gideon at second base. And he misses up and away. 3-1 the count now on Logan Grant. Grant takes a strike. He was about to flip the bat back to the dugout. First season in the Canadian Baseball League for Grant with the Welland Jackfish. Hitting .224 on the season. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Big punch out for Kyle Poapst.
Just got word the dog, his name is Dixie.
So 2 outs in the inning. Jackfish with a 1-run lead. Runner moves up to third base, and Gio Morello, the center fielder, trying to drive one in. Morello scoring to bunt. Pitch was inside, so he jumps out of the way of it.
Interesting play there to go with the bunt there by Morello. He has plus speed. He noticed that Ross was playing a little bit further back. Welland understand this run at third base. You know, it might only be one, but it is a big insurance run late in this ball game.
The 1-0, up and away. This is a big at-bat here in this ball game and the context of the season for the Maple Leafs. The 2-0 pitch. Pops an arm side miss with a breaking ball there, and it's 3-0. Logan Grant, the catcher, a .224 hitter on the season coming into today's game. He's driven in 8 runs and 55 plate appearances. Or Gio Morello, I should say. Morello takes ball 4.
Well, Reinaldo Paula is warming up over there in the bullpen. And Rob Butler going out towards the mound. This could be either a pitching change or could Kyle Poapst convince him saying he's got one more in him. It's not going to be able to. They go to the bullpen yet again, and it looks like it will be DePaula coming in.
Well, we'll have more on that when we come back, but DePaula has had a heavy workload for the Toronto Maple Leafs, comes into a big spot here in a 5-4 game. Threw 14 pitches on Wednesday, threw 12 pitches last night, and now comes into this game with a goal of getting Carson Johnston, and then the Maple Leafs will turn things over to Florentino.
That's 25.
Thank you.
I got you.
Runner on the move, that's Morello, and he'll swipe second base. Could even be defensive indifference there by the Maple Leafs. No one went over to cover.
Yeah, this is fully just target the batter right now, and it's a big one because top of the order are looming on deck.
Oh, 0-2 the count. 2 in scoring position for the Jackfish. Long hold. Timeout called. Might have a pitch clock next season.
I'm very curious where they would install it here. I think that's one of the things I'm very curious to see what they would do.
Problem for another day.
Exactly, not my issue.
The 0-2 pitch. He struck him out. Or no, he got a piece of it.
2-1, or 1-2, 1-2.
1-2 now. That'll do it. Strike 3. High fastball by DePaula. And he gets in out of a massive spot here in the 8th. Well, closing time has come early here for the Welland Jackfish. Bottom of the 8th inning, Deivy Mendez is on the mound. Mendez is not unfamiliar with 6-out save situations, and that's what he's got in front of him right now. Marcus Knecht will come to the plate. And Knecht. We'll take ball one. Marcus Knecht, one of few players in the Canadian Baseball League that have hit a home run off of Deivy Mendez. We'll admit it was a couple years ago, but Marcus Knecht was part of a trio that went back-to-back-to-back in a playoff series against Deivy Mendez and the Welland Jackfish. Here's the 1-0, and he swings and misses. And the only reason that's even worth mentioning is because Deivy Mendez just doesn't give up a lot of anything, ever, in his entire career.
Yeah, one of, if not the best when it comes to being a back end of a bullpen arm.
The 1-1 to Knecht. That pitch misses outside. Mendez an ERA of 1.62 on the season. This is his 11th game. He has 5 saves on the year. And the strikeout numbers, pretty ridiculous. 33 strikeouts in 16 2/3 innings, averaging 2 of them per inning. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and Knecht fouls it off.
Also only 7 walks in that span.
Last season gave up 5 runs the whole season. This season he's only given up 3. It took him until his 3rd year of his Intercounty Baseball League career to give up any runs. The 2-2 to Marcus Knecht, and he takes upstairs. Three-two count. Mendez last pitched 2 innings where he gave up an earned run against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers on July 18th. Mendez has given up an earned run in 2 of his last 3 outings. That's all the Maple Leafs are looking for right now. Full count to the veteran right fielder, Marcus Knecht. Long hold by Mendez. Here's the pitch. And Marcus Knecht hits this ball in the air to center field, and it is gone! Off the top of the wall! Right off the top of the wall. Marcus Knecht will slide in with a double. That was close.
It looked like from our angle that hit the top of the snack shack out there, but no, it caught just the top of the wall. Marcus Knecht, you mentioned he had one of the home runs in that trio of home runs that Mendez gave up, but he just guess he sees him well here again. It is just a fastball he takes right back up the middle of the field.
I mean, that's about as close as you can get to hitting a home run. That's a metal fence. It's not like it's a thick wall or anything out there in center field. It's just a tarp draped over the batter's eye. That hit the top of the metal fence, bounced up in the air, and then came back down into the field of play. Now it's Dennis DeBanning. And he takes outside.
Well, you mentioned it. I don't think this is anybody else's game except Mendez. I don't see anybody down in the bullpen when it comes for the Welland Jackfish unless they're sitting out there on the bench.
1-0 on DeBanning. He takes outside. Deivy Mendez not getting the calls that he would like here in the bottom of the 8th. Two and 0 the count. And that pitch just swung on and missed.
Looked like another elevated fastball that DeBanning couldn't just hold back on.
Marcus Knecht standing at second base. The Maple Leafs haven't been particularly good with runners in scoring position in this game. Bottom of the 8th inning, 2-1 count to Dennis DeBanning, and he takes a strike.
here if you're demanding, you in a protect mode. Just try to advance the runner any means necessary. Don't have the heroic of trying to hit the ball as hard as possible. Let Mendez do the work.
Big 2-2 pitch from the Jackfish closer. Way outside. Another full count.
I like that out of DeBanning. He watched it the entire way through. He recognized spin right away out of the hand of Mendez, and he watches it go through. Now, it's a big moment where you have to think Mendez is going to attack.
Spencer Ross on deck. DeBanning trying to keep the line moving here for the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the 8th. Long hold by Mendez, and DeBanning will call time.
Before this at-bat, Yasiel Puig pulled DeBanning aside. He was talking with him, saying, this is what I saw out of Mendez. Obviously, you know, DeBanning has a little bit more experience against Deivy, but with Puig, the kind of level of hitting that he has, trying to relay as much information as possible.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Another long hold. And DeBanning fouls it off. Yasiel Puig would love to get an at-bat in this game and face Deivy Mendez. And with the way things are looking, it could be in a big spot. Long hold, 3-2 pitch to DeBanning. Inside, and it hit him. Hit Dennis DeBanning right in the backside. He walks a couple steps toward Deivy Mendez. This was something that caused a little bit of a stir last game, or a couple games ago out in Welland. DeBanning will head down to first base. The Maple Leafs will take it, though. I mean, keep things moving.
Well, also behind the play, the catcher, he kind of signaled to DeBanning. DeBanning gave him a little hand wave, saying, "Understand, it wasn't intentional."
It certainly wouldn't be in a situation as big as this. Now we get a mound visit. Marcus Knecht, big hit in the inning, millimeters away from tying the ball game, hitting the very top of the fence and coming back in play. Spencer Ross is the batter. Taveras is on deck, and you'll remember Taveras homered in his last at-bat. Spencer Ross steps in a huge spot here for the Maple Leafs. Corners are in for the Welland Jackfish. Ross going to bunt, bunts it back behind home plate.
And it's tough. A lot of velo coming out of the hand of Deivy Mendez. If you're trying to get that bunt down, you got to be 100% sure you are on top of it. Because if you're under it by just a little bit, that's a pop-up right to one of these infielders.
Maple Leafs could get two in scoring position with a well-executed bunt by Ross. There's the 0-1 pitch. Ross going to bunt again and takes a strike at the top of the zone. Spencer Ross does not get the bunt down, and now we'll have to battle in an 0-2 count against Mendez. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Up high. 1-2. Good take that time from Ross. Quinonez and Mendez have both tried to get Ross out with high fastballs, but he hasn't been willing to chase any of them.
It's really interesting to see the corners. They're still kind of playing in here. You can see both of them kind of even or just in front of the bag.
Don't think Ross would be bunting here with 2 strikes. Ross takes ball 2. Another gutsy take by the Leafs third baseman.
With just kind of the contact ability that Ross has, it kind of seems like the sweet zone for him. If he was to just flare one, it's exactly where the third baseman or first base would normally be playing. But in this situation with the corners in, there's a lot of real estate here just to kind of flare one out to the outfield for Ross.
Two and two now. Ross battling from behind in the count. And Ross swings and misses strike 3. Deivy Mendez gets the punch out. This was the Marcus Knecht swing.
And Marcus
from earlier
Knecht
on
hits
in
this
inning.
ball in
You
the air
take
to
a look
center
at
field,
This
and
is
it is gone!
Yeah. On the
Off the
tip
top of the wall!
of the
Right off the top of the wall, Marcus Knecht.
Like, I don't even know how it could bounce up like that. Right? It's a chain link fence.
You just can't place it any more perfect.
I'm actually texting right now with someone who's at the park that had a better look at it, and he said he initially thought that it bounced off the top of the wall and hit the flagpole on the other side of the fence, but obviously that's just the way it appeared. I mean, there were a lot of eyes on it, and no one had a complaint, including Marcus Knecht, but another person said that it looked like it kind of springboarded off one of the little chain links on the top of the fence. I think that's the most likely one. The 1-0 pitch. That one finds the zone on Taveras. You want to call the rest of this at bat?
I guess you're throwing it to me. 1-1 count here for Taveras. Again, homered in his last at bat. He's been seeing the ball awfully well. He extended that on-base streak now to 5 straight games. And Taveras lifts it to right field. Doesn't get a lot of it. Knecht tagged up for a second, and you jumped out of your chair.
I thought for a second off the bat there that we did it again.
If it did happen, I mean, you would have to go we would have to go tell Crix immediately. Wow, that was as close as you can get.
But now the attention shifts towards the Maple Leafs, who have once again put a runner on second base with nobody out and are 1 out away from stranding him. But Ben Sitarenios, we'll see if he can change the narrative. Sitarenios goes around on a check swing on the first pitch.
You got up out of your chair so fast. That was I just saw you springboard.
Yeah, because the launch angle was what I expected. 0-1 on Sitarenios. He takes up and away. It's been a short 2-year career for Sitarenios, some as a pitcher, some as a hitter for the Maple Leafs. This has got to be one of the biggest spots that he's found himself in a Maple Leafs uniform. One and one the count now on a tough righty. And he takes outside. Well, if there's one thing Deivy Mendez to pick up this save, does have to get through 6 outs, and this has been a long inning, multiple 3-2 counts to lead things off.
Yeah, it starts to wear and tear on you, especially, again, we don't know the Jackfish bullpen situation. Mendez might be it. There's nobody down that line. There's a lot of players in the dugout. They could have an extra arm or two, but, you know, Welland definitely going to just stick with their best arm here.
The 2-1. Upstairs, 3-1 now on Ben Sitarenios. Yeah, there's no one in the bullpen sitting out there right now for the Jackfish, but they might just choose to be hanging out in the dugout. This is the second game of a 4-4 for the Jackfish. The 3-1 pitch. Sitarenios takes a strike and didn't like it.
Neither did the Christie faithful.
And he let the home plate umpire know as well, but now Sitarenios is going to have to reset. He stepped out of the box, thought that was ball 4. And all of a sudden, Mendez has him in a 2-strike count, and that's right where Deivy Mendez wants him.
And if you're Sitarenios, again, you stay with the same mindset. Don't expand for him. If it's a down-the-middle fastball and you like it, A+ swing. Anything close, you go into defensive mode.
3-2. Check on the runners. Elicits a reaction from everyone who is still here at Christie Pitts.
Yeah, crowd's getting a good little bit of noise
This
out
game's
here.
gone long. It doesn't feel like that because it's been really exciting, but everyone is very engaged here at the Pits. Big spot watching their Maple Leafs and Ben Sitarenios. Bottom of the 8th inning, 3-2 count facing Deivy Mendez. And he takes ball 4. Sitarenios takes the walk. Close pitch, great at bat by Ben Sitarenios to load the bases.
And you mentioned Sitarenios. He hasn't had a lot of playing time in his 2-year career with the Maple Leafs, but right there works a terrific at bat against a lethal arm in Deivy Mendez.
That's a gutsy take on that pitch, and he got it right. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the 8th. Matt Brandt at the dish. Some close pitches in the at-bat. One going the way of Mendez, that one not. Brandt has a fresh count. And that one in the dirt, it squeaks away, and the runners will hold their ground. That was a good decision by Marcus Knecht at third base. That didn't get away very far from the catcher, Grant. Luis Florentino warming up in the bullpen and hoping that he can come into this game with the Maple Leafs tied or leading. Nowhere to put Matt Brandt. It was a rather wild first pitch from Mendez. The 1-0 to the Leafs backstop. Just outside. Logan Grant tried to pull that ball back into the strike zone. What do you do if you're Brandt here? I mean, Mendez hasn't had really control issues, but he's just missing the strike zone. He's probably going to get a fastball here, though.
Yeah, you're in a hitter's count. There's two things. You can either rev up here and expect a fastball down the middle, or Brandt, just keep taking. Take until you see a strike. But you got to make the decision quick.
The 2-0. Fastball down the middle. Problem is, Deivy Mendez fastball is hard to hit.
Yeah, and I don't kind of fault Matt Brandt there. You just take until you see a strike. Mendez just walked the guy ahead of you. You know, the Maple Leafs have put themselves in a good position here. Bases loaded, still trying to get that one run. Deivy Mendez, tons of pitches thrown in this inning.
Mendez fastball with high spin rate defies gravity on its way to the plate. The 2-1 pitch. Brandt takes a strike on the inner half. 2-2.
So now you just go into defense mode. Choke up a little bit on the bat. Feet a little bit further apart. You're just going in here. Defense on anything in and around the plate.
It's been a long bottom of the 8th inning, but one that the Maple Leafs have not scored in to this point. Mendez trying to get out of a big jam here in the inning. Check swing, did he go? Yes, says the umpire at second base. Deivy Mendez gets the strikeout and strands the bases loaded. The Welland Jackfish will have a chance in the top of the 9th inning, but the Maple Leafs did get enough runners on that we will see the Mendez versus Yasiel Puig matchup on the other side. Well, the Maple Leafs batters can take a breath for a moment and hope that Luis Florentino can get out of this inning scoreless and give his team a chance in the bottom of the 9th. Abe lays down a bunt. Brandt picks it up, whips the throw onto first, and in time to get the out. Good play by Matt Brandt.
Terrific, yeah. Brandt could have let that ball roll foul, and they would have had another opportunity, but he fires a strike down there to first and beat Abe by a step.
Jonah Weisner is the second baseman. He comes to the dish. Weisner has had a good day at the plate, 2 for 4.
Game out in Chatham-Kent just finished 8-1 score for the side of the Barnstormers.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Weisner hits one back up the middle for a base hit right over the head of Luis Florentino, and there's a runner on. And depending on what happened in the other games, that hit may have moved Jonah Weisner into the top 5 in batting average in the Canadian Baseball League.
Well, it has him kind of separating himself from Escato when it comes to hits in the league. He already has 1 RBI that put him 2 ahead now of his teammate Ethan Mann. But Weisner, a terrific day. It's a 4-hit day for Jonah Weisner.
And this one's crushed high and deep to left field, and it is gone. Ethan Mann with a 2-run home run, and the Welland Jackfish have taken a 7-4 lead.
Well, just mentioned that Weisner moved 2 ahead of Ethan Mann in RBIs. Well, Ethan Mann just tied it up.
And that is a huge home run for the Welland Jackfish because their closer, Deivy Mendez, threw 32 pitches in the 8th inning. So his task, if he comes back out, has been simplified in the bottom of the 9th. So now it's the shortstop, James Smybert. And Smybert takes inside. Smybert's 0 for 3 on the day. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Inside. The 2-0 pitch fouled off by Smybert. 8 home runs now on the season for Ethan Mann. 3 off the Canadian Baseball League lead, which was just set by Yasiel Puig. Here's the 2-1 pitch in the dirt, goes to the backstop.
Yeah, Florentino just got the number. This is the first run he's given up in exactly a month, and to the date, it was the Welland Jackfish, the last team to get him.
And that's ball 4 on Smybert. Another base runner here for the Jackfish. And Gideon will take inside. Boy, this has been a roller coaster of a game here tonight. The Maple Leafs came all the way back to make it a 1-run game, and boy, how this game could have been different if Marcus Knecht's fly ball to center field had been a millimeter higher. This is a line drive to center. In comes Sitarenios, and he makes a sliding catch. Takes away a hit from Justin Gideon, who robbed one of the Maple Leafs and Spencer Ross earlier with a similar catch. Luis Florentino went out from getting out of this 9th inning, which has seen him surrender a couple of runs on an Ethan Mann homer. Robert Mullen now takes low and maybe outside. One-0 pitch. That one misses upstairs. And then Florentino spikes another breaking ball in the dirt. Now it's 3-0 on Robert Mullen. Mentioned the 8-1 win for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. London also beat Barrie. That game just went final. And a resounding 13-1 victory for Hamilton over Kitchener. Ball 4 to Robert Mullen. 2 on here in the inning for the Jackfish as they look to continue the insurance runs. So Logan Grant, the catcher, will come to the plate. Maple Leafs trailing by 3. We're hoping that Luis Florentino could turn things back over the bats, as they had some real momentum going against Deivy Mendez and the Jackfish. 32 pitches in the inning, but could not scratch that run across home plate. Here's the 1-1 pitch to the Jackfish catcher. That one misses down and in. Mendez has got on top of a couple of breaking balls in this inning. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed. Florentino a pitch away from getting out of this top of the 9th inning. And it's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Florentino punches out Grant. The big swing, a 2-run shot from first baseman Ethan Mann, and the Welland Jackfish have extended the lead to a 3-run cushion. Top of the order for the Maple Leafs. Tall task of 3 runs that they need against Mendez and the Jackfish here in the bottom of the 9th inning. It will be Brando LaRue, Yasiel Puig, Yordan, Manduley, the first 3. LaRue's task is pretty clear. get on base for some of the big boys behind him. Although I will say Brando LaRue has been supplying the power for the Maple Leafs as of late. And there's strike one from Deivy Mendez. One of the reasons that Mendez got in some trouble in the 8th inning was from walks. So it's a good sign for Welland Jackfish faithful to see strike one there. And then LaRue takes high. Deivy Mendez can live at the top of the zone with his fastball if he wants, because it's one of those high spin rate fastballs that just doesn't drop as much as you expect it to. Count 1-1 on Brando. And LaRue takes a strike, one that almost hit him on the inner half, and Brando LaRue is frustrated with the strike zone. So the count's 1-2. A pitch from Mendez outside. Brando LaRue would not chase. I don't think there's been a single pitch that Maple Leafs batters have chased against Deivy Mendez. They have been extremely disciplined over this 2-inning stretch that Mendez is trying to complete. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Deivy Mendez pushing 40 pitches now on the mound. Mendez takes a deep breath on the mound and reloads for this 3-2 pitch. Gets the sign from the catcher, Grant. And this one's popped up on the infield, hooking towards foul territory, and it is just out of play. Randall LaRue staying alive here in a 3-2 count. This has been a great battle. Deivy Mendez jumped out in front of the count. LaRue took some close pitches, fouls one off, and now sees another 3-2 pitch from Mendez. And LaRue gets a piece again. Mendez now at 40 pitches. Deivy Mendez has been asked to go multiple innings before. There's been times in the playoffs when he's been asked to go in a third inning of work or longer if the situation needs it. This is a regular season game where Mendez is having to bear down here against the Leafs and misses high, ball 4. Brando LaRue will head down to first base, and he works a well-earned walk. Boy, the fortitude that you have to have in the batter's box to not swing at that fastball just above the zone is really something, and Maple Leafs hitters have had it. And this is the battle that we've all been waiting for. Deivy Mendez versus Yasiel Puig. The guy who solidified himself on the mound as the league's best versus the best resume that we've ever seen in the Canadian Baseball League at the dish. And Puig pops it up, foul back behind home plate. And this one will land out of play. That ball was hit sky high on a pitch up in the zone by Yasiel Puig. Oh, 0-1 the count in this great battle between two veterans. Puig takes a strike. Top of the zone on the outer half. Yasiel Puig with his hands on his hips and now has to battle. Deivy Mendez has him right where he wants him. Ahead in the count, 0-2. Can go with the nasty breaking ball, can try and find the top of the zone, but needs to stay away from the big power of Yasiel Puig. And Puig takes. It took every bone in his body. He flexed every muscle, but he didn't swing at the pitch low and away. Yasiel really wants a pitch that he can handle in this at-bat, and he's telling himself to wait for his pitch. Brando LaRue is the runner at first base. The tying run is still in the on-deck circle in the form of Yordan Manduley for the Maple Leafs. One and two. Mendez to Puig. And it's way outside. Deivy Mendez missing with the breaking ball. Mendez went ahead in the count, missed with two breaking balls. Yasiel Puig almost offered at one of them down and away. That time it was a little further outside as Mendez missed his spot. LaRue just standing on first base, watching this battle unfold. Mendez gets his sign, looks like a breaking ball. 2-2 on Puig. And Yasiel lays off again. No swing as the check down to the umpire is successful. Deivy Mendez has tried to get him to chase the breaking ball 3 straight times and goes to a full count. Mendez also operating with an extremely high pitch count for a closer. That last breaking ball was the best one that he's thrown, and Yasiel Puig still laid off. Now where do you go? What a battle this has been. The 3-2. Puig takes outside, ball 4. Yasiel Puig got 4 straight breaking balls after going behind in the count 0-2. And the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Yordan Manduley. Well, this game is not over yet. It looked like the Ethan Mann home run was going to seal the deal and give the Jackfish all the insurance runs they need. Deivy Mendez pushing 50 pitches here in the bottom of the 9th inning with nobody out. The Maple Leafs have 2 on, and they've got the heart of the order coming up. First pitch to Manduley. He swings at it and fouls it off. Yordan Manduley, every single at-bat tonight, has faked like he's going to bunt on the first pitch, signaling that he's taking all the way. That time he tried to jump ahead on Mendez. Owen won the count. Another great battle between two veterans. The 0-1 pitch to Manduley. And he pops it straight up. This is on the infield and in play. And the catch made by the second baseman, Jonah Weisner. Well, here comes the rematch. Marcus Knecht, who was the first batter that Deivy Mendez faced, and Knecht hit a ball to center field. It was as close as you could possibly get to hitting a home run. Hit the fibers on the top of the center field batter's eye, went straight up in the air, and then landed in play. Millimeters from being a wall-scraping home run to center field, which would have tied the game for the Maple Leafs and completely changed the way this game played out. So Marcus Knecht will have a do-over. And Knecht takes high, ball one. Marcus Knecht ahead in the count. Deivy Mendez has got ahead of the first two batters. Now delivers ball one. Remember, he threw 4 straight balls to Yasiel Puig after going up 0-2 and walked him. Mendez to Knecht. Marcus Knecht takes a strike at the bottom of the zone. 5 straight balls. Marcus Knecht taking all the way. And Mendez able to find his strike. One and one. There's kind of a silence that's fell over the crowd here at Christie's Pits. They're all still here. They're just engaged in this battle. Marcus Knecht takes high. Two and one. Marcus Knecht ahead in the count. Maple Leafs still need 3 runs. Marcus Knecht seeing if he can keep things moving along here for the Leafs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Knecht takes low and away. What a great take by the Leafs right fielder on a pitch that just missed. Marcus Knecht looking pretty stoic at home plate here. Doubled in his last at-bat off of Mendez. Now finds himself in a hitter's count, and you'd have to imagine that Mendez will give him a pitch to hit here. Outside, ball 4. It is game on here at the Pits. The Maple Leafs have loaded the bases in 2 consecutive innings against Deivy Mendez. The Jackfish are thinking, thank God for the run support that they got from Ethan Mann's 2-run home run. Marcus Knecht is standing on first base representing the tying run. Pitch count at 52 for Deivy Mendez in this attempt for a 6-out save. Nobody warming in the bullpen for the Welland Jackfish. Last inning, Zach Benoit thought that maybe that there was nobody else left in the bullpen for Welland. They used Danny Howat to get 1 batter. And Mendez is just going to need to keep going here. He's kind of rubbing his arm. This is a lot of pitches for the Jackfish closer. The Hamilton Cardinals, who play the Welland Jackfish tomorrow, have turned on the TV and are loving what they're seeing right now playing out in this game. Deivy Mendez will probably not be available for that game. Demanding the former Hamilton Cardinal at the dish. 0-1 the count. (0-1) the count. Mendez with a necessary strike one there. Looked like the Banning was taking all the way. Bases are loaded. Strike 2. Another perfect pitch painted over the outside corner. Tough spot here for Dennis DeBanning, but over his career with the Maple Leafs, he has lived for moments like these. Mendez gets his sign. now gets set for an 0-2 against Dennis DeBanning. And DeBanning will foul this one off. Just got a piece, and it floats back out of play. Brando LaRue, the runner at third base. Yasiel Puig at second. Marcus Knecht at first. They all walked. Mendez is throwing 3 straight strikes here to Dennis DeBanning. The 0-2 pitch. DeBanning swings and misses, strike 3. Deivy Mendez gets a big out number 2. You got Yordan Manduley to pop out, gets the strikeout of Dennis DeBanning, and now here's Spencer Ross. Spencer Ross would need an extra base hit to tie the ball game. Ross is a guy who's quite good at drawing a walk, hitting .247 on the season. And in terms of extra base hits, he has 2 of them. They're both doubles in his 98 plate appearances this season. Here's the first pitch from Deivy Mendez. Ross swings and misses. He took a big cut at that first pitch. The 0-1. Strike 2. Close, but found the zone. And Spencer Ross will call time to regroup. About 60 pitches now thrown by Mendez. He has not been efficient, but he has a chance to throw 2 scoreless innings, if you can believe it, against the Maple Leafs. Here's the 0-2. Ross takes strike 3 called on the outside corner, and that ends the ball game. A miraculous stat line delivered by Deivy Mendez. A ton of walks. A big hit by Marcus Knecht that was inches away from leaving the yard. And when it's all said and done, it's a 6-out save with no runs allowed by Deivy Mendez. But if you watch this game, you know that there was a whole lot more drama than that. It's a victory for the Welland Jackfish. They take down the Toronto Maple Leafs 7-4. Toronto had their chances in this ball game. There were runners on base. They were hoping to steal a win away from the Welland Jackfish, but it wasn't in the cards tonight. Welland comes away with the victory. For myself, Thomas West, as well as Zach Benoit, thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your night.